The Roman Empire, with its vast territories and remarkable achievements, has left an indelible mark on world history. One of its most fascinating and enduring aspects is the gladiatorial games, public spectacles that were both a form of entertainment and a tool for political propaganda. Gladiators, the men who fought in these brutal contests, became symbols of strength, courage, and sacrifice. Their story is one of violence and valor, but also one of complexity, as it reflects the intricacies of Roman society, culture, and the empire's approach to power and spectacle. The origins of gladiatorial combat are rooted in the religious and military traditions of early Rome. The practice can be traced back to the Etruscans, who lived in central Italy before the rise of Rome. The Etruscans held funerary games as a way to honor the dead, and these events likely inspired the Romans. The first recorded gladiatorial combat in Rome occurred in 264 BCE during a funeral held for a prominent Roman aristocrat. The event was intended to honor the deceased, and the combatants were slaves who fought to the death. Over time, however, these games evolved from ritualistic rites into a form of public entertainment that reflected Rome's growing wealth, power, and desire for spectacle. As the Roman Republic transformed into the Roman Empire, gladiatorial games became a key feature of Roman public life. They were organized by politicians, generals, and emperors to gain favor with the public and demonstrate their wealth and power. The games were often held in massive arenas, the most famous of which was the Colosseum in Rome. There, the public could watch gladiators fight for their lives, as well as witness mock naval battles, animal hunts, and other forms of brutal entertainment. Contrary to popular belief, not all gladiators were slaves. While many gladiators were prisoners of war or slaves captured from conquered territories, some were free men who volunteered to fight in exchange for money, fame, and the promise of glory. These volunteers, known as auctorati, were often motivated by the desire to gain attention and wealth, or sometimes to pay off debts. Others, however, were criminals or outcasts who were forced into the arena as punishment. Regardless of their background, all gladiators lived under harsh conditions. Once recruited, gladiators were trained in specialized schools known as ludi. These training camps were often brutal, with the men being taught to fight using different types of weapons, depending on the type of gladiator they were to become. Some gladiators specialized in the use of a trident and net, the retiarius, while others wielded swords, shields, or spears. Training was rigorous and focused on endurance, strength, and fighting techniques, but it was also about survival. Gladiators knew that to gain their freedom or earn respect, they had to prove themselves in combat. The gladiatorial arena was a place where life and death hung in the balance. Fights were brutal and often ended in death, though not always. The outcome of the match was sometimes decided by the editor, the sponsor of the games, or by the crowd, who would signal whether they wanted the defeated gladiator to be spared or killed. If the gladiator had fought well, they might be given a second chance. A successful gladiator could gain fame and become a celebrated hero in Rome, much like a modern sports star. However, the reality for most gladiators was grim. Even the most skilled fighters faced the constant threat of death. Gladiatorial combat was more than just a form of entertainment. It played a significant role in Roman society. It was a symbol of Roman values, such as bravery, endurance, and sacrifice. The gladiators embodied the Roman ideal of virtues, a combination of courage, strength, and honor. For the spectators, watching a gladiator fight was an opportunity to witness the qualities that were prized in Roman culture. The games also served a political function. Emperors and politicians used the spectacle of gladiatorial combat to gain popular support and distract the masses from more pressing political or economic issues. The phrase panem et circenses, bread and circuses, encapsulates this aspect of Roman life. The government provided food, bread, and entertainment, circuses including gladiatorial games, to keep the populace content and prevent dissent. The lavish nature of the games, which included extravagant prizes and the involvement of wild animals, also demonstrated the power and wealth of the emperor. Gladiatorial games were often seen as a way to promote Roman values, such as the acceptance of death in battle and the glorification of sacrifice for the state. The combatants, in fighting to the death, symbolized the ultimate act of loyalty and service to the empire. The Roman ideal of Pax Romana, Roman peace, was built upon the subjugation of people and the acceptance of violence. Gladiatorial combat reflected this dual nature of Roman civilization, its capacity for greatness and its willingness to engage in brutality. The gladiatorial games continued for centuries, but they eventually began to fade as the Roman Empire underwent significant social and political changes. By the 4th century CE, the rise of Christianity played a key role in the decline of the games. Early Christian leaders condemned the bloodshed and violence of the arena, viewing them as immoral and incompatible with Christian values. Emperor Constantine, who converted to Christianity, officially banned gladiatorial games in 325 CE, though the games had already been in decline for some time. Despite the official end of gladiatorial combat, the legacy of the gladiators remained strong in popular culture. The image of the gladiator has been immortalized in literature, films, and television shows, often as a symbol of heroism, resilience, and the struggle for freedom. Movies such as Gladiator 2000, directed by Ridley Scott, have rekindled interest in this ancient practice, while also exploring the human cost of violence and the quest for glory. The gladiators of ancient Rome were more than just fighters. They were symbols of the brutal yet captivating world of Roman entertainment, where life and death were intertwined with politics, religion, and social order. Their story is a testament to the complex nature of Roman society, where violence and spectacle coexisted with ideals of honor, bravery, and sacrifice. Though the games have long since ended, the legacy of the gladiator continues to fascinate us, offering a glimpse into one of the most intriguing and blood-soaked chapters in human history. Alright, that's all for today's video. I hope you found it interesting and learned something new. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel grow.